Thank you so much for being here. I want to warmly welcome you. I'm Jane Ramsey. I'm the founder of the Soul Artist Experience and thrilled you are joining me today for session 1. We're going to have a lot of fun today and in future modules of the course. My intention is for you to free your inner artist. Today's session is really a pre-work module to set you up for success. Today we're going to do quite a bit of focus on creativity and art making. I suggest you download the workbook instead of print it because from your desktop you'll be able to access links. Then if you want to print a page or two like the print and cut pages, you can do that. Let me mention that while I talk in all of the Soul Artist Experience modules, you will always be creating. This week and in all the future classes, you will spend the time in creative self-expression. You'll get more and more comfortable with creating as we go, I promise. So I ask you to take your class notes in an art journal for 4 reasons, and I'll go into in a few minutes why. But for right now, if you have an art journal or even a paper and pencil, I would like you to doodle. Now I'm going to talk a little bit more about doodling soon, but for right now, just practice making marks on paper. And if it's been a while since you've doodled, there's a doodle inspiration page in your workbook. It looks like this. And I'm going to talk about the course as I talk. I want you to practice mixing class notes and doodles, and you'll learn more about why in a little bit. As I said, while I talk, in this Soul Artist Experience course, you will always be creating, and I do ask you to take your notes in an art journal. Now, why would I do that? For these 4 reasons that I'll outline now. 1, because I want to remind you that creativity is your birthright, and it is within you now and has always been in you. Using an art journal for note-taking is a subtle reminder that not only are you already creative, but you can continue to free your inner artist through your whole life. There are lots of different kinds of journals. Choose one that appeals to you. I like journals with mixed media paper or heavy watercolor paper because I like to decorate my pages. And I encourage you to get one with heavier paper because I want you to find the courage to decorate your pages too. In the workbook, in the materials list, I've given you some suggestions of different types of journals, so please choose one if you haven't already and start taking your notes there. The second reason is because I want you to really savor and remember your experiences in this course. And your art journal will be your repository of this exciting and meaningful journey. You'll be able to come back to this journal and add to it in future years because I hope this will be a journey that you will continue to take for the rest of your life. There's no end to the discoveries you will make. Thirdly is because I want you to get used to doing your work visually. It's another way to stimulate your creative juices. Art journals are like visual diaries. They combine elements of writing, drawing, painting, and collage. Art journaling is one of the most forgiving ways to make art because everything in an art journal that you make is safely contained in your own personal book. Now, you might decide to only take notes in your journal for now, and that's fine to use it as just a notebook, but your journal is pregnant with possibilities for the future, and you can come back and add to it over time. It's a space where you can let loose and explore with colors, shapes, lines, and words. You might want to add colors, quotes, poetry, photos, tears from magazines, doodles, phrases that are meaningful for you. And fourthly, because I want you to discover your unique path of self-expression, and an art journal is the perfect way to explore. All of the ideas that you decide to include in your journal are great. All of them are perfect because your art journal is yours. It's your place for creative expression and to play with your intuition, so do whatever calls to you and toss all reservation out the window. Your pages will be treasures for you because they are uniquely yours, and your journal will be with you every step of the way. Now, I like to decorate my pages by painting them in advance because I'm a visual learner, and associating a color in my memory with a certain experience helps me remember it. But that's optional. You can choose not to decorate your pages, or you can decorate them a little, or you can decorate them later. So now let's take a deeper dive on the importance of doodling. So what does doodling do for you? Well, one thing it does, it helps you get used to making marks on paper. In your workbook is a link to a doodle inspiration video that Pipa, a friend of mine, made, if that calls to you. You can doodle with a pencil, or you can doodle with a marker. And just make shapes, and as you do, focus on letting go of judgment or worry about how it looks. You can draw emojis, flowers, hearts, paisleys, parquet patterns, rays, lines, stars, chains, rope, feathers, circles, spirals, leaves, vines, whatever calls to you. I love geometric shapes. And here's a tip. When you are doodling, turn the journal instead of turning your body and make it comfortable for you. So because I'm an artist and a creativity advocate, one of the ways I help people is to show them how to cultivate their creativity. Studies show that accessing your creativity is one key way to generate more fulfillment in life. So even if you are an appreciator of art or music, making creativity an important part of the rest of your life can really add an important dimension. So being an appreciator of creativity is great, but I really love it when people can stand up to their inner critic who might offer you limited beliefs about yourself and tame that inner critic, and we will be talking some more about that. So would you be willing to try something with me right now just for a few minutes, just a simple exercise? Okay, so take 15 seconds to sketch a simple portrait of me. I'll time you. Ready? Go. Okay, stop. So how did that feel when I asked you to draw like that? A little pressured, kind of bad? Why did it feel bad? Maybe it felt bad because you might have been telling yourself that you can't draw, right? Meet your inner critic. So interestingly, if you ask the question, do you feel creative or are you creative in a room full of adults, typically less than half, more like 25% will raise their hands. And the reason most people don't raise their hands is because someone, when you were 8 or 9 or 10 years old, told you that you couldn't draw. And for some reason, you equate drawing with being creative. And from that moment on, your inner critic said, oh, you're not creative. Because we tend to associate creative ability with the ability to draw. But I hope you will see through our exercises today, whether you can draw or not, that you really do have amazing creative capabilities within you. What I would love you to cultivate is the creative confidence to solve the problems of life with ingenuity and openness and be willing to take some little risks and participate in something that you think you might not be so good at. If you have creative confidence, then you're willing to tackle life's problems that don't have a clear answer, because that's the mindset you need to come up with to create the life you want, being open, realizing that there are always lots of possibilities. You can have everyday creativity and you show it by reacting to the world around you in a unique way. No one cares how you draw, but since it's a block for so many people, let's just stick with this drawing thing for another moment and I'll explain why after we do it. Nobody's going to see your work unless you decide to show it. Okay, so I'm going to say a word and then I want you to draw a little sketch of it. It can be an emoji, a stick figure, a doodle that might mean something only to you. Okay, ready? Here's the first word, happiness. Okay, do you have your doodle? Okay, love is the second word. Okay, the last word is baby. Okay, I'm not going to make you show your drawings, but how many of you, when you drew a baby, you drew a little curlicue on the top of its head? And for love, how many drew a heart? And for happiness, how many drew a smiling face emoji? The reason I'm asking is because we have a visual shorthand for things. And even though not many real babies have hair like that, it's symbolic of babies to put that curlicue on top. So the only point of this drawing exercise is no matter whether you think you can draw or not, what you just did, that's the highest level of drawing expertise you need for any of my courses. So if you think that your inability to illustrate holds you back from an expression of your creativity, let that go right now. You are creative, I promise. But it is helpful in note-taking sometimes to use a quick sketch instead of writing a whole bunch of words. So I hope your art journals will be filled with these little doodly sketches. And that's the point. It helps build your creative confidence and for you to feel really easy about self-expression. It's not about how great the drawing is. Nobody cares about that. It's about communicating and remembering and retaining ideas. So making a quick sketch like this, that's as good as you need to be. So you are good enough at drawing to be able to communicate your ideas and express yourself and make notes to yourself that are like a visual shorthand.